We have a lot of really, really good information to cover, and we're going to get that started immediately. So with that, I would like to go ahead and share my screen with you. There we go. And again, we're going to cover some updates for you uh, in terms of some very, very hot topics that are coming down the pike. One of which is our COBRA, and how individuals, Pennie will always be an alternative for workers in transition who receive that COBRA letter in the mail. And a lot of us here on this session understand wholeheartedly how bracing it can be for some folks to see how much employer-sponsored coverage costs when they receive that COBRA letter. There's some good news under the American Rescue Plan, and it's related to that, but then Pennie's also got some good news that we want to update folks on as well, relating to a special enrollment period that hopefully will help these individuals out. When it comes to the second topic that we're going to cover, it's an update, again, in relation to the American Rescue Plan and unemployment compensation. Additionally, we also want to be able to cover, from a technical standpoint, there's a question that's come up about how assisters create tickets, how they create and manage those tickets. And we're going to take a look at that here in a moment as well. So jumping right in, we're going to take a very quick recap of what the American Rescue Plan is doing and has done for the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania and for so many here in the United States. In fact, Juan Valencia just shared an article with me earlier today about the fact that there's been in excess of 528 million Americans have had the opportunity to gain coverage since the advent of the American Rescue Plan. So there's been no better time in history for us to help people get protected and to be in a position where it can be done so at an affordable cost. And that's really what the American Rescue Plan has done for us. It's provided us with an opportunity to provide that additional access and coverage that people need. With regard to that, again, this is a very high-level overview on points that have already been shared, but a few of these we're going to just rehash again, just so that everybody's on the same page. When it comes to the American Rescue Plan, primarily it enhances the financial assistance that's available through Pennie for our customers in 2021 and 2022. It phases out the subsidy cliff, that 400% federal poverty level. So if you're an individual or a family of four, that subsidy cliff is being capped really at 8.5% of the household income over 400%, which again is life altering for so many people who wouldn't have the ability to take advantage of financial assistance in the past. Now they will. One of the topics that we're going to cover here in a moment is the changes for those who are eligible for unemployment compensation in 2021. Okay, and again, we'll come back to this, but the important takeaway is it provides eligibility for maximum tax credits for households who are eligible for unemployment compensation for at least 1 week, whether or not they receive UC benefits or not. Second to that, or I should say the third advantage of the American Rescue Plan right now for Pennsylvania residents is the tax credit and reconciliation of those tax credits in their policy year 2020 taxes. When that's trued up at the end of the year when they do their taxes. And taxes, of course, the IRS has extended the tax deadline, but there'll be a lot of individuals coming out of 2020 who they may be in a position where they would normally owe some tax credit money back. And if that's the case this year, they'll be held with their taxes for 2020. When they do their 2020 taxes, they'll be held harmless for that. So that's an advantage. Another very important advantage is COBRA. And COBRA subsidies, basically from April 1 through September 30th, individuals who are eligible for COBRA subsidies will be eligible for 100% of the cost of COBRA. And that's, again, part of what we wanted to cover today is not only that update in terms of the COBRA subsidy coming through on the American Rescue Plan. Again, it's for individuals who are eligible for COBRA. They would have 100% of the cost covered April 1 through September 30th of 2021. One of the big questions that came up, and you'll see that there are different dates with all four of these facets. The one that came up about the September 2021 is, well, Pennie generally tries to be an alternative to COBRA, an affordable alternative to COBRA, and in many cases we are. But let's face it, there are a lot of individuals who, when it comes to their employer-sponsored coverage, they have concerns about being able to maintain that coverage as long as they can, because they have specific health needs. They have specific physicians and clinics and hospitals that they work with. They have specific maintenance medications. Shifting from an insurance platform, and I don't need to tell any of you this, but you understand there are a lot of concerns that people have. Well, when it comes to that end date, so to speak, of September 30th, 2021, Pennie's board of directors met and they said, we need to be able to provide an alternative for someone ahead of the game, but also we have to provide them with options when those COBRA subsidies run out. So our board of directors created a COBRA special enrollment period, and basically to cover three important points to understand about this. When the American Rescue Plan COBRA subsidy for a qualified individual runs out on September 30th, they can contact Pennie and open up a COBRA SEP with a CSR. They can actually do that as early as August 2nd if they want to be proactive about it. And it'll provide them with 60 days to secure and review plans that we have here at Pennie. So our goal is to try and make sure that they have the opportunity to continue coverage and to do so with enough lead time that it's not, it's not something that'll be disruptive to their quality of life. Under the COBRA SCP, a customer will qualify for maximum APTC as provided for under the ARP for those claiming unemployment for at least 1 week, regardless of if they qualify for unemployment compensation benefits or not, in terms of the cash benefit, or collect, I should say, collect on the benefits. The exception to that, of course, is someone who has been discharged from their employer and is ineligible for unemployment. Here as well, you'll see another important takeaway from this is if the customer transitions from the COBRA SEP to 2021 coverage with Pennie, and then seeks to continue coverage through Pennie for plan year 2022, the enhanced subsidies due to unemployment in 2021 will not continue in 2022. However, the general ARP subsidies will apply in 2022. So in other words, if we go back, whoops, went too far. If we go back, the enhanced financial assistance available through Pennie in 2021 and 2022, those generous, tax credits and CSRs, this is where that individual will have the opportunity to continue coverage. We did want to take a little bit of time today to address unemployment. There are a lot of workers in transition right now. We know this, and as best we can, we are trying. Juan and myself and our partners here at Pennie, we are trying very, very hard to stay as in touch with workers in transition as we can throughout the Commonwealth. We're also trying to maintain relations with small business organizations and organizations that may be working with individuals who are transitioning from the workforce into business ownership, just so that they understand what their options are. And again, with regard to the American Rescue Plan and the impact that it has had, probably one of the most significant impacts is the changes for those who are eligible for unemployment compensation here in 2021. And basically what it does is it sets up a scenario where it provides eligibility for maximum tax credits for households who are eligible for unemployment compensation for at least 1 week in 2021. Again, whether or not they receive the actual cash benefit. And really what that does is it sets up a great scenario for folks in terms of not necessarily because, they're in between jobs, because that's never a good thing, but it's a scenario in which we can provide them with some support. And here's an example that we often share in our education decks. It's actually a scenario that's also available at pennie.com. If you visit our website, it's posted right on the site. This is a single 30-year-old non-smoker from Lackawanna County. She's at that 401% federal poverty level. Recently, she's been unemployed, and she's currently receiving unemployment compensation. Based upon the scenario here where we have our benchmark plan, the second lowest cost silver plan. Prior to the American Rescue Plan, she would have been paying about $364 a month for her health insurance. And again, depending upon the scenario, $364 a month may be considerably more affordable than what COBRA might be. But still, under this scenario, we're just looking at if she were already, somebody who was unemployed and taking advantage of Pennie as that alternative. Well, now, under the American Rescue Plan, again, second lowest cost silver plan, she'd be in a position where her monthly premium would go to $0. Now, if you're in between jobs, you're collecting unemployment, you are literally scratching pennies to stay afloat, that $4,373 a year that would be saved could mean a lot. So again, we're very sensitive to the fact that the American Rescue Plan has created a lot of opportunity to impact the number of uninsured in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. One of the things that I'm going to do before we actually move into the technical demo of this is two things. Number one, I'm going to mention the next Lunch and Learn. It's going to be on Wednesday, April 21st, 12:30 to 1. The topics are going to be enrolling in dental plans and calculating income. Okay, so with that being said, I am going to go ahead and start sharing the technical portion of this, but I also want to check and see if there were any questions in the chat. If anybody has any questions, please feel free to, you know, make sure that you ask questions. That's what we're here for. One thing that I would like to do, and I will make sure that I follow up with everybody on this. Again, please understand that, please understand that your, oops, hold on one second. Okay, there we go. All right. Just so that you're aware, I am going to make sure that this recording is available to everyone, and there we go. Okay, already did that, and we are good. Okay, well, with regard to the next stage, what I'd like to do is I'd like to share some information with you about how, whoops, that's not what we want to see. Hold on a second. Let's see where I'm at. Okay, here we go. I wanted to share some information with you on how to, number one, how an assister creates a ticket. And number two, how an assister can manage those tickets. Okay. Now, as an assister, everyone is aware of the assister broker helpline. Okay. The assister broker helpline is 1-844-844-4440. And as an assister, anytime you require technical assistance, that is the number that that's the number that you want to make sure that you reach out to. I just put it in the chat for everyone. But when it comes to creating a ticket for a customer, we're going to again visit Olivia Fox. She is our example of an assister. One of the things that you'll note is as you're working with customers, okay, you'll find your existing customers under active customers, okay? Under active customers, we will, again, be able to access all of our current existing customers here through active customers. So let's say I want to go and visit okay, disabled account 200 left message, no callback as of yet, thank you. Okay, in terms of if you're having issues with your dual mobile access, one of the things that you do want to do is make sure that you contact the Pennie call center. You want to make absolutely certain that you let them know, hey, look, I am having difficulty accessing my account. Okay, in the event, basically what you need to do is request a ticket for that so that they can resolve it and get you set. If you encounter any issues with that, email me. Okay, it is incredibly simple to email me, and I'm dropping my information in the chat in case you don't have it. There you go, scoyeager@pa.gov. Don't hesitate to reach out. Okay. But in the event that you need to create a ticket for a customer, we'll start with Dan Thomas here. This is very simple. You would select the customer. Okay, that's first. Select the customer. Second thing is you would go here to view customer application. You click on that. Of course, this is going to take you into individual view. Okay, now why are we doing this? Well, we're doing this because to create a ticket for a customer, you actually go into the customer portal down here where it says My Tickets. Okay. Now, if you click on My Tickets, what that does is that takes you to their ticket history where you can actually view, oops, sorry, there we go, where you can actually view the customer's ticket history. Okay. And that is through new tickets, resolved tickets, the whole 9 yards. Okay. But to create a ticket for a customer, and see, as the assister, you can manage this whole process for your customers, but you have to do it through their portal. Okay. If it's a ticket for yourself, you have to go through the Pennie broker and assister helpline. If you're doing this on behalf of a customer, you can do it right here. Now, if we want to create, and you'll see here where it says on Dan Thomas's account, you'll see where it says Olivia Fox is his assister. And as his assister, right now, we're in there and we want to submit a new ticket. So we click on Submit New Ticket. When we submit the new ticket, we have a few things that we can choose from. Number one, we can, if it's an enrollment related issue, which 99% of them are probably enrollment related issues, we can select enrollment. If it's feedback, we can select feedback. If it's issues, generally issues, we can select issues. If they're having access issues, what have you. But let's say that we've got an issue right now, and we're going to say Social Security card DMI. Okay, so we in the subject line, we define what the issue is, the enrollment issue, and then we provide a description. Okay. Please contact, and it's always good when you perform this type of ticket. It's always good to provide a good direct contact number for the customer. Okay, so we will say it is 717-460-7307. For those of you who don't know yet, that's my phone number, so please make note. Okay, 717-460-7307. We hit submit. It's going to process. And here we go. We've got a ticket number created for the customer. We can add comments. If there's updates that we need to provide to the folks who would be working on resolving these tickets for customers, if there's any input that you have, any updates, anything, if the contact number changes, if during a certain day of the week their contact information shifts from one place to the next, you can update that. So long story short, that is how, and we'll go back to our account now. Okay, this is Mr. Thomas's account, and now we're going to go back to Olivia's account, but you'll be able to see where from a technical standpoint, here we go. From a technical standpoint, anybody who is in your active customer list, you can not only create a ticket for them, you can actually manage that ticket and its resolution for them. So there was a question here or a comment in the chat here. Ticket creation or entry on a customer's account previously only allowed a maximum amount of characters to provide a description. How much information is allowable in the ticket text box? That is an incredibly good question. The one thing that I would suggest is again, in addition to a very brief description, you don't have to get into long, lengthy descriptions. A description of the issue in the subject line. In fact, let's go back and take a look at that, because that is an incredibly good question. We're going to go back into Mr. Thomas's account. Okay, so we'll go into individual view here. And then as we go in, we want to go under My Tickets. That's where we're going to find the tickets for Mr. Thomas. So in the example that we provided here with, well, let's take a look at that. Basically, what you want to do is you want to select the issue. You want to make sure that in terms of the description, again, it's brief and to the point. What is most pressing, what needs fixed, what needs resolved, what needs addressed. That's as concise as you can make it. And again, verify that the contact number is included there because issues get resolved when people have the ability to be connected. Okay. I can honestly say this, there is nothing that the folks within our organization want to do is to make sure that if there are issues encountered by anybody, that they get resolved as efficiently as they can. Sometimes the difference between connecting with somebody and not is making sure that you have the best contact number. Okay, and I know that sounds so minuscule, but it's actually so important. Making sure that we have that contact number is essential. So thank you so much for that question. And I see that we have a couple minutes left. Whoops. Okay, we have another one. When a ticket is created, how is the assister notified of ticket response in the customer account? Previous ticket notices I've gotten via email didn't include anything to identify the customer. Okay, can this be updated? That is actually a very good question. And yes, my understanding of, and again, my understanding has, no origin in the mind of greatness. You all know this. My understanding, though, is that as the customer's assister, the customer account will receive, and again, we're going to go back and take a look at this. The idea is, whoops, not sure where I went there. Okay, we're gonna go back here. The customer is the one that will actually be receiving the updates and the emails, et cetera, et cetera. So if I go back to Mr. Thomas's account, remember, we are doing this on the behalf of customers. So if you go up here to these updates, okay, again, the assister is not receiving this. The customer is, okay? But we have the ability as an assister to view these updates in the assister account. So again, this is, this is basically the update when a ticket is created. This is the update that you'll have. And of course, this transitions, okay? And as they transition, you're going to, here, let's make sure you're going to see those in the customer email portal. Okay. So remember, when you're managing any ticket on behalf of a customer, the action and the response is going to be initiated through the customer account. Okay. In addition to that, please keep in mind that as an assister, if you are managing your own ticket for a technical issue on your end, you want to make sure that that's done. Again, you want to write down your ticket number. When you contact the call center, you want to have your assister number, and you want to have that ticket number handy so that they can help you resolve the issue. If there's any follow-up needed, again, that's something where you will have the ability to do that. With that being said, I am going to, again, thank you all so very much for taking the time out of your day to, spend time with us. And hopefully you found the session helpful. I will make sure that the recording is shared with everyone. And again, please be safe in your work and in your service in the community. And with that being said, I hope everyone has a very peaceful day. So thank you, and we'll see you again real soon.